Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana. And, have you ever seen that commercial? I don't always drink blah, 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 but when I do, it's blah, 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 right? Well, I don't always make 2 videos in a day, but when I do, it's because I'm pissed off. Okay, that's how this works. It's not that I'm really pissed off tonight, but I want to clarify some stuff relative to this Merrick Garland and the statute of limitations on Donald Trump. So first of all, the statute of limitation on J6 and as well as the documents is 5 years from the day of the event. So in other words, pretty much with both of these cases, we're looking at the statute of limitations expiring on January 6th, 2026. It is November of 2022. Step back, take a breath, and let's talk about this so that everybody understands. We have prosecuted somewhere in the order of, I don't know how many, maybe 800 cases, I don't know how many cases for people who actually broke into the Capitol. I don't remember how many it is. That's not a hard and fast number, but that isn't my point anyway, because that's not what this discussion's about. It's easy to prosecute those cases because these morons put themselves on camera and posted it on Parler. So when someone's breaking through the glass into the Senate chamber, it's pretty easy to identify these people. And by the way, they're still trying to identify people. They're still trying to find the guy with the pipe bombs. They're still trying to identify people by using facial recognition software. People are being arrested still today. And this will go on until the statute of limitations expires. So they're not done yet either. But when it comes to the actual people who planned and perpetrated this, it's a little more difficult because you have to rely on more than just Donald Trump's speech on the day of the insurrection. That isn't enough to convict him on. Okay? It isn't. Merrick Garland is not operating in the court of public opinion. He has got to produce evidence in court in front of a jury. He has to, first of all, get an indictment and then present information and evidence that's going to get him a conviction. Prosecuting people under the Espionage Act is difficult. It takes a lot of work. And these investigations are extremely complicated because you have people like, let's use an example of like Lindsey Graham with the Georgia investigation, the Fulton County investigation. How many times has he tried to get out of testifying there? Do you know how many people have tried to stymie the J6 committee? How many people have taken this to court all the way up to the Supreme Court? That delays investigations. It often takes years for an investigation to be completed. That's where we are now with the J6 investigation. Now, I believe that Merrick Garland is further along down the road than people think. And I also believe that of the documents case too. But for example, one of the things they have to be able to present in the documents case was, did Donald Trump intend to sell this material to a foreign entity, or did he do it just because his ego's big? It doesn't matter. He's going to be charged either way, because regardless of what his motivations were, those documents can't be removed. But they need to know all of this detail. And for the record, they don't believe he was going to sell those to foreign entities. They do believe that this was all because everything is his, and that's the way he thinks. So let me explain something to you. As soon as Donald Trump announced his run for the 2024 presidency, and because Joe Biden has not yet said he's not going to run, in order to not have the appearance of this being a politically motivated investigation, Merrick Garland did the right thing. This guy will have autonomy. He will be able to pursue what he needs to pursue so that he can present what is within the law. He still reports to Merrick Garland, and Merrick Garland will have to sign off on any indictments. But he is not there to slow this investigation down. There are people who want to slow this investigation down. And indeed, the new Republican Congress in January will shut down January 6th. That will be one of their first priorities. So we need to move with all due speed. The J6 committee does. They have actually formed, I believe it's a 4-person subcommittee to look at criminal referrals to the DOJ. Okay, that's already underway. So there are also avenues for the DOJ to extend the statute of limitations should they need to. But I don't believe that they will need to. People, you need to understand something. I want Donald Trump to be held accountable. I would love to see him in prison. He'd look great in fucking orange. He's got the right skin color for it. His skin tone is perfect for an orange jumpsuit. But this doesn't solve the problems we have going on in government now. It doesn't mean because Donald Trump is indicted that, Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, that they're all going to go. That's not going to happen. You need to understand that. And I think somewhere in the back of people's minds, that's what they're thinking, but that isn't real. Okay, that's simplistic, childish thinking. It's not going to happen that way. They would all have to be investigated for their individual roles. We have people out there, I just noticed on social media, complaining because Merrick Garland hasn't charged anybody with obstruction in the Robert Mueller case. Well, Merrick Garland wasn't even in office at that time. Robert Mueller was the special counsel for the Russia investigation, while William Barr was the attorney general. I'm sorry, folks. I want Merrick Garland to focus on what he's got on his plate right now. I don't want him talking about the Mueller investigation. They had their shot. They didn't do it. Simple as that. Let Merrick Garland do his job. He is not going to keep you up to date on social media. As soon as you start revealing what you have for evidence, you're also revealing that to the people you're prosecuting. And you know what? You do this the wrong way, it's going to get overturned on appeal because Donald Trump and his lawyers are going to appeal. Or it's going to get overturned on a technicality. Or you're not going to be able to see the jury. You know what? If Merrick Garland shows his hand, the Trump lawyers will take advantage of that. They're not here to keep you in the loop on social media. Merrick Garland is not on social media to reveal his hand in this case. Get a clue, people. This isn't like, investigating somebody who stole a fucking pack of bubble gum out of a store. This is slightly more complicated than that. I'm asking you to step back. Let them do their job, and let's continue to do what we need to do to make sure we get these cretins out of office. If you're a Democrat right now and you're a voter, you need to be thinking about this stuff. You need to be thinking about 2024. And we're going to be talking about that as we move forward here. I will probably have another video tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about several other subjects. But I wanted to have everybody understand that the statute of limitations on J6 and on the documents is not even near right now. By the way, the Letitia James case that is now in progress in New York, it took her 3 years to investigate that to the point where she could get a grand jury indictment. This is what it takes, and that is a case where it is his personal finances. There was a whole bunch of data they had to look at, and it's the same thing that's going on now with J6 and the documents. So step back, take a breath, and we'll talk more. I'll talk to you guys later.